Dongles, dongles, dongles. They're not all the same. There's this thing about dongles that makes a lot of sense. It's not anything particularly new. Some dongles are better than other dongles. Relating specifically to MacBooks, Dante have released some information, and I thought I'd dig into this with these 5 dongles I have here. These 2 big ones normally live in my Go bag, and then these 2 2.5 gig ones specifically go out of our MacBooks for doing any kind of media servery type stuff. And then I've got a Ugreen. These are Ugreen 2.5 gig. And then this is a 1 gig Ugreen that just sort of, I don't know, goes out with laptops when they need a hardwired connection, if we don't send out a bigger dongle, that is. Anyway, so these ones have got network on the end. These 2 are the same, bought from the same supplier, same model number. These 2 are the same, bought from the same supplier, same model number. And this is obviously one of a different type. I've got more of these, but just these are the ones that I commonly send out. So this is the article. I'll link it in the description. And basically, it explains that one of them is a kernel driver, one of them is not a kernel driver, which means it needs to go through the kernel twice and in user space. So it also goes on to say that, you know, one chip is almost certainly the bad type, one chip is also almost certainly the good type. So what I thought is I'd show how I would test my 5 dongles I've got here, and then we'll see the difference. So it's quite simple. There's a whole section here about doing it, but basically if you go to your system information, in hardware Ethernet, you'll see a list of devices, and you can refresh this with Command R. So yes, you can see my 2 dongles. One of them is a NCM driver, and the other one is an ECM driver. So this is the one I was having some trouble with, and this is the one that was absolutely fine. I will say the trouble only showed up when my laptop was doing other things. So when I was already loading up the CPU with other tasks and then doing an iPerf test, I was not getting the full, 1 gig, which is like 942 megabits, transfer speed. So basically, I knew something was up. I just thought it was a dodgy adapter. Dongles go bad, right? But no, this is the reason why. One's an ECM, one's an NCM. Even though they're the same module or the same dongle, but from the same supplier, almost exactly the same time, they fill the same model number, they are clearly just 2 different devices. Okay, so one is this ASIC, the 88179A. This is very common. It says it's 2.5 gig here, but it's definitely not. It's only a 1 gig. And then the other one is the Realtek, and this is also 1 gig. The USB link speed doesn't actually affect the USB link speed is not the link speed coming out of the Ethernet. That's just your internal USB connection speed. And you can see here, this is a Realtek 1853. Realtek's product IDs, USB product IDs match their product numbers. So you can see that this is, was that a 53? Yeah, 1853. Sorry, 8153. This is a not very good one, and you can see Dante don't advise it, and that's because it's an ECM module. So let's plug in the 2 Ugreen 2.5 gig dongles. Again, these are the same. These were bought at the same time from the same place. So I'm just going to plug those into the other dongles. So we should have 4 networks or 4 Ethernet adapters. So there we go. Those other 2 have now shown up. You can see they're exactly the same. And you can see that these have the NCM module. You can also see these are Realtek, and these are 8156, which happens to be the ones that they recommend. So, yeah, these are the ones we normally send out with our laptops. If they're doing QLab, we normally send 2.5 gig out, because then you can do point-to-point and get a little bit faster. But I'll cover that in a different video. And lastly, I'll plug in a Ugreen 1 gig. So there we go, Ugreen 1 gig. Let's refresh this. And you can see that my Ugreen 1 gig is actually an AX88179A, the same as one of my other dongles. So that's an NCM 1 gig. It says it's 2.5 gig. It's definitely not. It's limited to 1 gig in some other way. So there we go. It's interesting that Ugreen have different modules in their 2.5 gig to their 1 gig. Even if their 1 gig module says it can do 2.5 gig. That's quite interesting. They're physically different sizes as well, so I'm guessing there's more going on in the 2.5 gig dongle than there is in the 1 gig dongle. Probably quite obvious that that's the case, or it's just for heat dissipation maybe. But yes, so there's 5 dongles, and they all show up slightly differently, and this is how you tell whether it's NCM or ECM. And even if you think you've got one that is NCM, you might go back and buy some more, and they turn out they're not. So you just got to be really careful with this if you're using them for Dante and the machine is doing some other tasks at the same time. So there's a load of advice about this, but basically get the NCM dongles. And just a quick to show you, this is my 2.5 gig. This is my adapter that's 1 gig that says it's 2.5 gig. If you just let them yourself assign an IP address in the hardware section, so details hardware, you will see the connected speed. So you can see it's 100 base T, 1000 base T. If I quickly remove my other dongle and then put in the 2.5 gig dongle, so this is with two 2.5 gig dongles. If I give that a second to pick it up, if I again go into the hardware properties, you will see that it's at 2.5 gig, so 2500 base T. So there you go. So not every dongle is what it says it is.